When you want to start making passive income, you might feel like you have to learn a new skill, but you have a whole lifetime of knowledge that you can turn into money. In this video, we're going to dig into how to pull back the curtain on those talents that you have so you can start making passive income from them and stop letting all of those things go to waste. So grab a notebook and a pen if you're old school like me, or open your notes app on your phone because we're going to be making some lists. So the first thing we're going to do is make a list of everything you know how to do that someone else might not. So we're going to think through your entire life about all of the skills that you've acquired. It could be from school, from a parent, from a teacher, from a coach, from a grandparent, from a friend, from other family members, or even something you learned online. Let's go way back to your childhood. Think about anything you learned as a kid that someone else might be wondering how to do. For example, when I was a kid, I learned how to make a garden from my grandpa. Now let's go up through middle school and high school. And this doesn't need to be stuff that you learned in class, just stuff that you learned during that time frame of your life. And then what about if you went to college or a trade school? What kind of stuff did you learn from that during that time of your life, but also from that experience during college or during going to a trade school? It could be the actual thing that you learned, or it could also be an experience that you had while you were going through that process. And then what skills have you learned as an adult? Maybe something you might have learned at one of your jobs, or something that you've learned about relationships or money. And I do want you to think about any skills that you might have around money, health, and relationships, because these are money-making topics that people will pay money to solve their problems within, and great ideas that you can monetize. So think about the things that you do at work, at home, for your kids, for your spouse, for your friends, maybe if you volunteer, maybe for your parents or your grandparents, for your pets, for your siblings, or things that you do for your community. We're going to start out really general with these ideas that we're writing down, and then you can get specific later, and we'll go into that in a little bit. Seriously, write down everything, because what could seem like the tiniest thing that nobody would want to know, it could be a huge hurdle for someone else. And just because you write it down doesn't mean that you have to follow through on it. These are just ideas. This is just a brain dump to get everything out onto paper so that you have something to work with. And keep this as an ongoing list, because as you go through your days, you're probably going to think of other things that you're like,
oh yeah, maybe somebody else would like to know how to do this.
And you can add it to your list as a potential for later. You can end up with hundreds of things on your list, because I'm sure you know how to do thousands of things. And I know that you probably won't write down every single thing that you know how to do. So hundreds of ideas that you can monetize. Don't discount any idea that you have, because you never know what could be a winner. Just add it to the list. So here's a super short version of my list. Obviously, I'm not going to go through hundreds of things, but I'm just going to kind of give you some ideas so that you understand what I'm saying. So the things that I know how to do are make printables, start a blog, cook. Yes, lots of people know how to cook, but lots of people don't know how to cook. I know how to use epoxy resin. I know how to make crafts. I know how to use Canva. I know how to set up an Etsy shop. I know how to set up a Shopify store. I know how to organize a craft room. I know how to take care of Pomeranians, and I know how to remodel a house on a budget. I also know how to do nails. Fun fact, I used to be a nail tech for 18 years, and then we moved to a new state, and I left all of my clients behind and decided to go out on a new adventure. And that's when I opened my Etsy shop and then got into the whole online business thing. I know how to use Pinterest for a business, and I know how to stay positive when you have a hidden illness. So that's my list that I can go off of. So now that you have your kind of master list, I want you to go through and take a look at those things and see which ones sound the most fun to you. And then we're going to get specific on those particular topics. So what specific things could you teach people about this topic? So from my list, taking care of Pomeranians, I'm going to give you an example of what that would look like. So I know how to take care of Pomeranians' hair. I know how to keep a Pomeranian in shape. I know how to teach a Pomeranian to do tricks. And I know how to cut Pomeranian nails. Now, some of those seem maybe not like such a big deal, but to some people, they are a big deal. So what can you make that would help other people be able to do those things? Is there a printable that you could make that would help? Could you write a book about it? Would a course help people? P.S. You don't have to have an audience to sell a course. You can sell a course on Udemy or Skillshare or a site like that. So don't think that you have to have an audience to do that. If you're inspired to be a content creator, would a blog or a YouTube channel be helpful to people? Or can you make some print-on-demand merchandise about it? Now, keep in mind, you don't have to be a so-called expert to do this. I'm not an expert in a lot of these things that I have on my list, but I have enough knowledge that I can teach someone who is a beginner or some steps behind me. So some ideas of what I could make for my Pomeranian example. I could make a printable Pomeranian care planner. I could also make a version of that for Amazon KDP, which if you guys don't know what KDP is, it's basically where you upload a book onto Amazon and Amazon prints it out and sends it to the customer when they purchase it. I could make an ebook that's a complete guide to caring for Pomeranians. I could sell this as an ebook, but I can also put it on Amazon as a KDP book. I could make a course on how to care for Pomeranian hair. I can make a course or a book or both on easy tricks to do with your Pomeranian. Or I could make a YouTube channel or a blog about caring for Pomeranians. I could also make some Pomeranian print-on-demand merchandise. So these are just a few ideas. I could come up with more if I took the time to sit with it and think through some more ideas. But I just wanted to give you a quick example of what some possibilities could be just for one topic. Think about that. You have hundreds of things on your list. That's just multiple products that you could just make off of one of those topics. So if you want to make a printable or a book or print-on-demand products, you can go to Etsy or Amazon and look for similar products and see if the products have reviews. And if it's something that has a lot of reviews, then you will be able to know that it's probably a good product to make. Also, you can use those reviews to read through them and see were there things that people liked or disliked about the product so that you can be sure to make yours better. Be sure to include things that they said they wished were in there, or don't do things that they said they didn't like about that particular product. If you want to start a blog or a YouTube channel, you can look at the success of other people that might have a similar channel or website. So if you're on YouTube, just go and look for other channels that are similar to what you would want to do and see how many subscribers do they have. Do they have enough that it seems like it would be worth your while? And also, if they have a blog, then go check their social media accounts and see, do they have a lot of followers? Does it seem like they're having some success? These are good indicators to tell whether it's worth pursuing this particular topic. If you want to make a course, go to Udemy and Skillshare and see, like on Udemy, it tells you how many, actually I think on both platforms, it tells you how many students they've had, and you can also read reviews. So you can kind of do that same process that I said to do with Etsy and Amazon. I'm so excited to see what you create. If you want to see my formula to make $10,000 with digital products, be sure to check out this video right here, and I'll see you next time.